Okay, so what we'll do is we'll cover the fifth module, that is the Power BI. Okay, so what all we'll be covering is introduction to Power BI. Like first of all, we'll understand what is business intelligence, what it is used for, and then we'll move on to why Power BI and what is Power BI. Then I hope everyone have their environment setup done. So we'll run through few visualizations, dashboards, and importantly I'll also introduce you to the DAX, which is nothing but your another kind of writing functions or formulas in Power BI, so that you can use the more features that are existing in the Power BI environment. Okay, so what we'll do is I'll start with what is BI, then we'll first start with the DAX, then we'll come back to visualizations and dashboards, so that you would have built some features. Then we'll use those features are nothing but your columns, so that you can use those created columns or measures. We'll go through what are these things. Once we have those things, we can build the visualizations, then we can go through the a dashboard thing. Okay, so you can just see here. Okay, and once the session is done, I'll give you the file, how to import and other things. Okay, so that it will be used with the same code. I'll be giving my dashboard as well as my other measures and calculated columns, formulas, and everything. Okay, fine. So to start with, there is nothing still I'm sharing. Let me share it after some time. But basically, what is BI? The business intelligence, right? So the BI comprises of various technologies and techniques. Okay, so what happens is, say suppose if there is an enterprise and a data analysis has to be done. Okay, so ideally why we do the data analysis? To derive the information from it, right? So the BI will help us to give the historical, current, and also the predictive views of the business operations that are happening in the organizations, right? So some common functions under the BI technologies that comes like reporting, data preparations, analysis, data mining, and once we have all these things, we'll do the data visualizations, right? So once you visualize, what all you do performance metrics, you look at the metrics, I mean the charts that you prepare and everything. And and also why is it getting popular is because you can take like wide range of business decisions. Okay, but how you take, see, once when earlier it is like you pull the report, you prepare it, then prepare some PPTs, then you present it. It's like that, right? Now the BI tools, or how it is helping is, you can look at the visualizations either real time, or at least you can do the changes however you want, because there are the features that are provided for the end users as well. So the BI tools helps in like tracking the performance. Say suppose you have built the dashboard and it's been used by the stakeholder, so he can track the performances, he can optimize the operations by taking some decisions. Okay, say suppose if it is a market analysis dashboard, then the stakeholders can spot the market trends, right? Like which share is going up, which share is coming down, right? And say suppose if you have built a dashboard for understanding the customers, so in that case what will happen, you can analyze the customer behavior, who is buying more, which region is buying or happening more business, these kind of things, right? So that's why the BA tool is like getting prominence nowadays. And there are many, see, whenever there is a product or a feature that is very popular or getting popular in the market, what happens is various companies start building the products for the same features, right? So in the similar fashion, there are many BI tools that are available, okay, in the market, but few top leaders are like the current one what we go through today, the Microsoft Power BI. Then we have the Tableau, IBM Cognos, SAP Business Intelligence, and SaaS Business Intelligence, ClickSense. This is also one of the important tool, or which is having more demand. And then Sisense, Oracle BI, right? Apart from this, there are also open source tools as well available, like Domo, Burst, right? So there are many tools available in the market, but the top leaders are like Power BI, Tableau, and IBM Cognos, and of course the SAP Business Intelligence. Okay, So yeah, we are picking Power BI, but why are we picking Power BI when compared to the other competitors? Let's understand few basic key features, right? See, whenever we pick some product, right, either it is a phone or either it is a laptop or whatever product you pick, you compare it with the competitor, right? Like what is different or what is more flexible or advantage than that. Yeah, the Power BI and Tableau are the very strong competitors each other. So when compared to the Tableau, we'll do the comparison with the Tableau so that it will be easy for us. So when it comes to visualizations, what happens is Tableau strongly focuses on visualizations. That is there. Yeah, both does. But Power BI offers features like, say suppose if you want to do data manipulation first, and then you go ahead and work with the visualizations. There is, see, nowadays whatever feature comes up in one product, yeah, it get replicates or it get replicated in the other product as well. But in terms of cost, yeah, the Power BI is comparatively less compared to the Tableau. And also the Tableau offers more depth of data analysis front end, whereas Power BI does it more on the back end. Like you do, see, when you connect, see, using Power BI you can connect to R, Python, everything, right? So you can build your own visualizations. You can start working on the data in the back first and then come back to visualizations. That is what we'll do through this workshop as well. Okay, and also Power BI provides like rich functionalities like making correlations between different data sources. See, one of the advantage of these BI tools is that you can connect to multiple data sources, right? Like Excels, spreadsheets, databases, online services like Amazon Web Services, uh, yeah, any cloud services that are available in the market. I'll show you like what all things are available to connect to. Okay, and also Power BI can do much better with predictive modeling, reporting, and optimization when broad analytics are needed. Okay, so see, it's not that we need to go through Power BI, not Tableau. You should have the understanding of as many tools as possible. Like you need to know what is good for what purpose. So you need to start using the tools. To start with, we'll do with Power BI. Okay, then you can go ahead and explore the Tableau and other tools that are existing in the market. Okay, fine. So let me share the screen, but nothing I have to present. Okay, is my screen visible? Okay, fine, thanks for the confirmation. Okay, so basically what happens is when we talk about a product, right, we need to know like what is Power BI or what is that product about, why are we choosing that product. See, some reason should be there, right, for choosing the product. So let me pull up the Power BI thing. Is okay, you are able to see the screen, right? Okay, fine. Okay, so basically why Power BI or what is Power BI? See, Power BI, see, just telling about Power BI, it is having multiple things inside it. Like it's a collection of software services, apps, connectors, everything, right? So everything clubbed together is called as Power BI. And also the Power BI consists of three things. One is the Power BI desktop. So you can see here, right, the Power BI desktop. This is one thing which is used to create the visualizations or dashboards or work with the data in the backend. Second thing is an online software as a service, which is nothing but your Power BI service, which is used to share the content what you have prepared. Say suppose you have built a dashboard for an e-commerce website, right? So you are a developer inside and you have developed the dashboard, but yeah, you need to share it to the stakeholders, and there are multiple stakeholders like marketing executives, operations executive, delivery executive, everything, right? So you share them through the Power BI service. And there is also something called Power BI mobile app, which is available in your Play Store and App Store, whatever it is. They are like for the end user, I mean who consumes your dashboards. See, you create a dashboard, executive will take the decisions, whereas the consumer, like the end user, say suppose a marketing executive or marketing field executive, who on the go wants to look at the few previous things that has happened with that engagement, so he can look at the mobile app. So this is how they have built, the Microsoft has built the setup or the flow to start with Power BI desktop, okay, by connecting to various sources and build a report, then publish the report to the Power BI service, and then the end user can interact or view on the Power BI mobile apps. So that is how they are set up. Yeah, when it comes to Power, so today what we'll do is we'll just concentrate on the Power BI desktop, whereas the Power BI app or Power BI service, again it's like a cost involved, right? So we'll see the core thing you need to learn is the Power BI desktop, so we'll go through that. So it's an application that is installed on your local computer, right? So that is why it's called Power BI desktop. But what all you can achieve through this Power BI desktop? You can connect to the data, you can transform and clean the data, right? You can import various datas and you can transform. Then with that, what all you can do? You can work on the DAX, that is the data analysis expressions, and do the transformations of the data by adding extra columns or new columns or new measures that you can see, and we'll go through that. And then you create a visuals, then you create a reports are nothing but your collection of visuals, that is you build a dashboard, right? So this is how you build a setup so that it can be used for making a appropriate decisions by the executives. Okay, so when it comes to dashboard, right, sorry, the desktop, Power BI desktop, what all the things in the top you can see, these are the options that are available, like say suppose get data, connect with the data sets, servers. So this is your data section. Then you have queries, this is nothing but you transform your data. Then insert is nothing but to add more visually appealing content into the dashboards that you build, like say suppose if you want to build some visual, yeah, that is done. Text, if you want to describe something, more visuals, yeah, when you connect to the app sources. Then you have calculations, like I said, new measures, new columns. Then this is what I told you about is the publish. So once you have your content ready, then you can publish it to Power BI service. Yeah, similarly we have other options under insert, again modeling. Okay, apart from that there are three other views. Okay, one is your report view, I mean where you see the data that is being built, and then we have something called a table view, and then we have something called, sorry, this is data view and this is data model view, right? What is data modeling? Data modeling is nothing but, say suppose you have built a dashboard. See, when we went through the database module, right, what I told you, when we are creating a database, we don't just create a single table, we create multiple tables and build the relations between those tables by using the primary keys, right? Similarly here also you will be having the sources of data, like say suppose if it is an e-commerce website and you are working as a Power BI developer inside. So you get the data for employees, you get the data for customer, and you get the data of the transactions that are done by the customers. All are in different tables, but you need to connect so that you can derive some decisions. You can understand which region of the customer is spending how much time, how much money into the website, right, in the purchases. So those things you can do. So we'll go through that also, right? So this is what I just wanted to tell you in as an introduction of Power BI desktop. But yeah, why Power BI? See, many companies, see, we are like a single users, but yeah, when it comes to organizations of big companies, many big companies like ABB, Helse, Mediacom, many when you go to the Power BI or the Microsoft Power BI website, they have listed like many success stories. Okay, so all these companies have used this Power BI to improve their business operations or improve the performance or improve the profits that they are earlier having. They had challenges in maintaining these reports. See, few companies, what they do is, whenever they want a report, they do this as an outsourcing. So they go to another company and ask, and they give the data to them, they ask to build a report or dashboard, then they give back. That is one kind of thing. Second way, there are like multiple data sets available in different locations of the business. How do they consolidate? How, after consolidating, how do you build the decisions or dashboards? So each company has their own challenges, but yeah, they were really satisfied with this Power BI, and they developed the dashboards and were able to yield the results. I'll be sharing a document, okay, where I have put all the details on what all we go through, like what is BI, what are the success stories. So I've put like 3 detailed stories. If you want to explore more, you can go ahead and look for the official Microsoft Power BI website. Okay, fine. So what we'll do is we'll start with the DAX. We are good till now, right? We are clear. Okay, fine. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll build the DAX, that is nothing but data analysis expression. Before that, we should have our data inside, right? So what we'll do is I'll just copy this path, and I'll be sharing you these 2 Excel files to you, and as well as these 2 PBIX file. So whenever you save a Power BI file, it will be having an extension of PBIX. Okay, so how do you import the data? As I said, if you go to get data, these are the common data sources like text file, that is your CSV file, SQL server, Power BI data flows, data sets, a blank queries, right? Excel is there. But yeah, if you click on more, you can see multiple options available here. Okay, so you can see here, right? You can have the segregation also here. Say suppose if you're loading files, you can load these kind of files. Say suppose if you want to connect to your database, these are the databases that are available, and I mean the connectors available for Sybase, Teradata, PostgreSQL, which we went through, right? SAP HANA, Google BigQuery. So they are building the connectors as much as possible for everything. And there is something called Azure, which is a Microsoft the online services or online cloud environment. And apart from that, there are other online services that are available. So you can see here, right? Google Analytics, Adobe Analytics. See, Adobe Analytics is like getting very famous nowadays. It has also engaged with Microsoft, right? So you can see many things that you can connect with, not just one or two. So that is one of the main or critical feature that you need to look at, right? So let us import the Excel file. How we do that? Yeah, I'll show you. Just give me a minute. Okay, so go and click on the Excel, and down you have something called connect. So this will open as a window. We need to import 2 tables, and we'll build a data model first, then we'll prepare the fields and measures. So after that we'll do the visualizations. Okay, so first of all I'll download the I'll input the NPS dummy data. See, NPS is nothing but a what to say in feedback data. See, net promoter score, it's called as NPS. Okay, see, NPS is like, even you can build a tool. There are many tools that are available in the market. Again, for the NPS is nothing but you take the feedback. See, whenever you go to market, right, you give feedback. When you go to more supermarkets, at the cash point they have those billing, right? So at the billing, they give, please give the feedbacks, and then you go ahead and give some scale of 0 to 10, some number between 0 to 10. Similarly, what happens is every organizations, like the big organizations in the world, they do this net promoter score feedbacks, right? So what is it like? So every customer gives a score between 0 to 10, and what they do is they take this feedback, and internally they create something called 3 sets or 3 different categories, like detractor if the rating is between 0 to 6, passive if it is given between 7 and 8, and promoter if it is 9 and 10, right? So they segregate how many number of feedbacks we got for each and every category, and they create something, they calculate something called as composite scores or net promoter score. How it's calculated, I have given you in the document very detailedly. Okay, I'll be sharing your dashboard. We'll go through the dashboard as well. Okay, I've given you in the detail like how it is being calculated. You take the number of detractors, you take the number of you take the percentage of detractors, you take the percentage of promoters, take the difference of it, and that is your promoter score. But yeah, every industry will have their own benchmarks. So I've given you in very detailed. I'll share you the dashboard. We'll go through that as well. Okay, so we selected the dummy data. There is only one sheet existing inside that data, that's why it's giving only one sheet. Okay, so this is the data. One is a responded, unique ID, what survey type it is, what country, what company it is, industrial sector, what sector it is. Okay, then the project IDs or whatever the IDs that they have worked on, what source type it is, likely to recommend. So see, okay, let me first load the data, then we'll go through the data part. It will take a minute. So you can see here something like it says, right, creating connection in model. You will be getting a connection here. Let's go through that as well. Okay, so you saw the message also, right? It was like saying 29,700 records were imported. Now what we'll do is we'll pull the other table also. This is like your dictionaries that you create. Like say suppose this is my country code. In my NPS data, there are codes that are provided under the country column. I want to have the complete name of the country, so I do this connection, and also have another table which says what score is what category. 0 to 6 is detractor, 7 and 8 is passive, 9 and 10 is promoter. This is an industry standard, not restricted to one company, every company. So let's load these two tables as well. Okay, so both are loaded. So this is our report view, nothing we have in place till now. So let's go to the data view, and now you can see here the tables that we have imported. So this is sheet 1, so let me rename it to NPS data. Okay, and yeah, you can look at the data here as well. So if you see here, response date, unique ID, survey type. Apart from that, see, when you give a feedback, right, you give a feedback for few parameters, like what we concentrate or what the industry concentrate on. LTR services, that is likelihood to recommend services. LTC is likelihood to choose services, and this is your overall satisfaction. These are the prominent things that every company or every organization will take consideration. Apart from that, say suppose if you want to understand more about his feedback, like what did really bother him or what did really make him happy, communications of the resources, expertise, industry expertise, innovation, partnership, proactive, quality, response, staffing, technical expertise, timelines, values, right? So these were the few parameters that the customer gives the feedback on. See, this is an industry standard, not restricted to one company. So once you learn this NPS data, see, NPS data, you learn it as a project. Here we are going through the visualizations, but yeah, when you go through the real-time data, what happens is for this LTR services, there would be a reason given also. So there would be a column of a text which says what is the reason for giving this score, right? So what will happen is you can use the text data and do the text analysis on the data so that you can understand the pulse of the customer, right? So there are a lot of projects available online as well for the LTR for the NPS data. I'll explain you maybe offline with you guys if you are interested. Okay, now coming to the data model, and now you can see here whenever we input any table, right, what happens is you'll get a connector available in the data model. Now you saw the data, right? Under the country we had these codes, right, JP for Japan and other things. There are many unknown country codes which we don't know, right? So if you see here, few we can say, few we cannot say, right? But yeah, To understand more on this, this is a country code, this is a universal code that is being followed, alpha 2 code, alpha 3 code. Let me open the data here also so that you can see. Yeah, so this is a universal data set. For Afghanistan, this is the 2-letter code, 3-letter code, and what is the numeric code as well we have. Similarly for dictionary, as I showed you, these are the things. Now what we'll do is, we'll first connect the tables here. How do we do the connection is like this simple. Let me search for the country. Yeah, here it is. And we need to connect to the 2-letter code, right? So this is 2-letter code, this is 2-letter code. You just drag and drop it onto the particular thing. What happens is the connection establishments happens. So you can see here, right? And just if you just hover on this line, and those things will get highlighted. Now again, we need to have the score, that is the, see, what we look at only is the LTR, likelihood to recommend services. This is the prominent one that we consider. And now we want to connect this to the score of the dictionary table so that we can get the result saying it is a detractor, passive, or whatever it is. Okay, that is one way of doing it. We'll do the other way also. I'll show you what is the other way. Fine. So I'll connect to the score. Now what will happen? This connection is established. This is nothing but your simple data model. There are a lot many complex things that you can do here, right? Now, so this is on the setting up of the data into your environment, but now we'll go ahead and work on the DAX, that is your data analysis expressions. Okay, so before getting into that, let me tell you briefly like what is DAX and other things. Okay, DAX is nothing but your data analysis expression. It's nothing but in formula languages where you write the formulas, functions, right? And it was basically developed by Microsoft for their own products like Power BI, analysis services, Power Pivots in Excels. So they have developed a language for their own products. Okay, see, learning is very easy, but yeah, to start it will be easy. Getting deeper into it is a very complex thing, and there is no necessity of getting into the deep level of like getting an degrees or a PhD level of understanding the DAX language. But yeah, definitely you should know like how to use it, what all things are there inside it. You need to explore, keep on exploring. When you build some project or dashboards, then you'll keep on learning it. Okay, they are used for creating, if you see here in the calculations here, you can create a new table, you can create a new column, you can create a new measure. Quick measure, new measure is the same thing. Okay, apart from that, there is something called row level security, which is also used for the DAX. Okay, so in measures, what you do is generally new measures, so it's like a dynamic formulas. Whenever you select appropriate data, the formula exists same, but the result will change. Say suppose now I want to know the average score of LTR for a particular region. I'll write a formula saying average LTR, but whenever you select a region, the average changes accordingly. So it's a dynamic formula. But when it comes to column, it's for each and every cell that you calculate there or do the calculations. I'll show you, I mean, we'll go through all these things. Then we'll see, I mean, we'll concentrate only on the new measure and new columns, not on the new tables. Calculated tables it's called. Okay, calculated tables is like you compute a new table by mixing all these three tables. Okay, so that you don't intact the original tables. That is the intention of it. So as part of basics, we'll cover most of the things. Okay, when it comes to DAX functions, you need to segregate them into 6 categories. I mean, there are many categories, but yeah, to understand at basic level. One is the aggregate functions like your sum, average, minimum, max, sum x. And second one is your count functions like count number of values, count number of blanks, what is the distinct count or what are the varieties you have, right? Then we have logical functions which says about and or not. Information functions like is a cell blank, is a cell having some number or text, is it having an error, so those kind of things. Then we have something called text functions, which we did earlier also, like concatenate, replace, search, upper, lower. And there are also date functions like calculate the hour, day, weekday, month for a particular date. Now we in the NPS data we have this column, right, which is like your response date. For these column you can calculate the more number of columns. Now what we'll do is we'll first try to build few columns, okay, then we'll try to build few measures, okay. So let's start with building few columns. Like say suppose this is your data, you need to be ensuring that this is being selected here, okay. Once this is selected, what you need to do is you need to click on new column. The every column what you add will be added into the end of the table. So yeah, so this is your new column and you can see it's been added into the end of the table. Now say suppose my column name is like final result. I want to have these segregations for the LTR, saying that if this is a score of we connected the tables in the data model, so we want to create the categories present in this table so that we can use that category for building visuals. In Excel we have something called VLOOKUP. Similarly on the Power BI we have something called lookup. So what will that function help us? Sorry, it's lookup. Okay, there is one more thing. If you give a letter, it will pop up the functions that are starting with those letters. Say suppose if I give LO, these are the functions that are available with LO. So we want lookup. So we'll look up a value, it retrieves a value from a table. So let's select that. It's taking like what, 3 parameters. One is the result column name. My result column name is existing in my result of my dictionary, right? We connected to dictionary, which was having like detractor, promoter or passive. So let me first pull that. So you need to give the specific table name first, that is my dictionary. This is my table name. Under that I need result, the column. This is my result column I wanted. But yeah, what you want to search? I want to search for the dictionary score. But yeah, where you need to search? I need to search in the current table, that is your NPS data. Inside NPS, what you want to look at? I want to look at recommended services, likelihood to recommend services. So it took 3 parameters. One is from which table what you want to make an final output, from which table how you want to compare. You need to compare with my current table having the LTR services. We'll go through a few things again so that you'll be having like a fair understanding of it. But yeah, how do you use this function? See, whenever you use a function, what will happen is it will give you the prompts, right? So if you see here, without giving any values, it will show you what all the parameters you need to give. Result column name, search column name, search value, right? So you give those and just hit enter. What will happen is for each and every cell it will create, and also we renamed the column name to final result, and now you can see the results here, right? So if you see a final result for the likelihood to recommend service of all these promoters, it would be 9 or 10. Okay, so if you see, these are 9 or 10. Now let us pick one passive or detractor so that we can validate ourselves. Yeah, so these are passive, so the score should be either 6 or 7, or sorry 7 or 8. Yeah, you can see the likelihood to recommend service, it says 8. Let us pick the detractor one. Instead of searching here, you can go ahead and filter it. Yeah, here you have a detractor. Okay, so let us search for the LTR. Yeah, here you can see it is 6. Okay, so this is how we connect the tables. See, this was possible because we did these connections. Now let us build a few more simple columns, like say suppose concatenate, replace, search, those kind of things, right? Okay, so let's move to the other table so that we'll have the all tables touched. Now say suppose I'll create a new column and I'll connect the alpha 2 code with say suppose numeric. How do we do that? So when you hit a new column, it popped up a new column at the end. Rename this column, say suppose it is a connection example, sorry, concatenate, right? Concat example. Okay, now how do we do? Again, you just call a function by just saying like one or two letters you type, it will give us a function. Double click on it. Now you read the function first. Join two text strings into one string. So you need to give two text. How do you give? You just give the column names. To give the column names, you need to specify the table name as well, because there are multiple tables existing. But yeah, say suppose you have the table name only remembering. In that case, what you can do is, say suppose alpha is what I remember. It will give us the prompts from which table you want to pick up as well. I want to combine alpha code to, say suppose numeric. I don't remember the table. It will give us the table name with the column name. So you can use those pop-up features of the Power BI. That will help us to simplify in building these columns, measures, and everything, right? Okay, so you can see here, right? It has concatenated or clubbed the alpha 2 code with numeric. Let's build like few more so that you'll have the connect with it. Now say suppose I want to replace okay, say suppose if I want to replace something, if I find in R, okay, what we'll do is we'll replace with the first letter. Hey, yeah, Ashutosh, we can hear now. Yeah, not a problem. Yeah, man, go ahead. Hmm. 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 Correct. Yes, yes, yes. Hey, no, these are like your joins, right? If you remember, we went through the database joins. You are building, huh? Huh, because that is a connector. I mean, your primary key. Do you remember the primary key and foreign key concept? Huh, so we are using that concept and connecting the table. So what I can do for this one, I can bring these results here. See, now we have connected this LTR with the score. Okay. Now we have connected this LTR with score, but what is the point of connecting it? To get the categories. Where are the categories present? Those are present in the result. So to get them, I need a connection between these two tables. That's why we are establishing this connection using a primary key foreign key concept. Then we are building this categories into this table. That is what we did, right? The first, let me pull it. Yeah. So this NPS data was not having any categories for LTR. It was just having the LTR score. What we did is we brought those categories to LTR. Whether the score is promoter, see, when I say LTR to a data analyst or anyone is fine, but when you go to stakeholders, you need to put it them with the categories, whether it is a promoter score, detractor, or passive score. But how can you decide this? That was based on the dictionary that we had. Hmm. Correct. Okay. Fine. So let's do one more quick thing, like say suppose if I want to replace the first letter, or we'll do something, okay, yeah, so we'll go ahead and we'll use the replace function. See, there are like hundreds and thousands of functions available. We are just picking up like 7, 10 or 15. Okay, now say suppose I want to do a replace example. What is it says? Replace part of a text string with a different text string. So first of all I need to give what is the old text that I want to replace. Let's say I want to replace the country. Okay, country cannot be replaced because it's a primary, it's a key that is being used for the other things. Now say suppose I want to use an alpha code itself. Alpha code 3 will touch. Okay, alpha code 3 will touch, which we are not using it. And say suppose my start position is 1. Okay, and I want to replace, from the first I want to replace 2 characters, and let me replace it with say suppose XX. So where I want to replace, from which position I want to replace, how many characters I want to replace. Now you can see the alpha 3 code will get changed automatically with this function for each and every cell. You cannot do these functions with measures, right? Measure is for segregation, aggregations. Yeah, you can see now all the first 2 letters of your alpha code 3 gets replaced with these things. Every function is used for fit for purpose. Whenever it is useful, you use that. I am just showing you how to use the DAX. Okay, now say suppose you want to search for a particular character present. How do we do that? We have something called search function again. Okay, let's say we want to search. See, how do we know these functions are present? Just by doing few of the dashboards and start exploring again. Yeah, first of all, where you want to, say suppose what you want to first find the text. Find, say suppose we'll pick up a I letter, A, E, I, O, U, our vowels, right? Definitely it will be present in the words. So let's pick up I. Within what text you want to search? Say suppose I want to search under alpha code 2. Okay, so that it won't be present in all the words, but yeah, only for few. Within text what you want, we want say suppose alpha code 2. Okay, what is the next one? You should start searching from the first one. If it is not found, just give me 0. Okay, so these are the zeros where it did not find. It is a 2. Okay, it found on the second position. Similarly you can use it on the country. Okay, and also I talked about date functions, right? Let's work on like 1 or 2 things. The date is present in NPS data. Okay, so here we have our response data. Let's build few date functions. Let me create a new column. Okay, I hit on table, right? So that's why it's showing this. Let me delete this. Okay, so you need to select that appropriate table before you click on new column or new measure. Okay, so let's go to new column. We'll build another like 1 or 2, then we'll go to measures thing. So yeah, now we have this new column generated. Now let's say we want to know what hour the response was. So we can use the hour function. It's just taking one parameter. What is that? Your response date. So if you just give like 1 or 2 letters, it will give us the selections thing. And now you can see, similarly now with hour we are able to get the hour part from the date timestamp. and you can also build the month, week, day, many other things in the data functions. Okay, so you can build the new column or new measures coming into the data part, but also you can create the same thing here also. New measure, these three things also. Let me explain you these things also. So we talked about these features that are available on the top, the data, queries, insert and other things, and these three things are like report view, data model. Apart from that, there are something called filters, and these are visualizations. We'll go through few of them. And then fields are nothing but you pick up a columns. You can search here, or also you can go ahead and pick it up from here to build the visualizations. Why filters are used? Say suppose you are building an NPS data for the entire organization. Okay, you are a lead analyst and you are working on it, and say suppose you had multiple teams, you connect with them. Say suppose you are working with different industries, right? What are the industries we have? Okay, say suppose you have multiple industries, and each industry is headed by one of the executive, right? So what happens is you build a dashboard, but yeah, the specific industry leader will look only for his data, not for the other industries. At that time you can go ahead and put the filters. You can put a filters on the complete page, like what all the visualizations we do, or on a particular visualization as well. We'll go through few of them. Okay, I'll try to touch each and everything. You guys need to start exploring it more and more. Okay, we cannot complete end to end the Power BI, right? That is there. Okay, so let's work on the measures, few measures. One important measure I wanted to show is, okay, let me bring up this dashboard. This is what the ultimate thing that you need to develop or build. So this is a dashboard that you have created for NPS. Why I brought it up this now is we want to understand about the composite score. Okay, now say suppose you have built this dashboard which gives like a layman or a new guy to understand what is the NPS background. So you can put a text, you can put this layout, you can do the changes, you can add pictures, you can do what all you do on the PowerPoint. So you build this, right? So it says like what is net promoter score, right? So I told you how to calculate the net promoter scores, right? Say suppose you got some 100 surveys and you got some 60 surveys for detractor and some 40 surveys for promoter. So what will happen is it won't consider the passive. You can see here, right, the red one, just the red one and just the green one. So say suppose you got some 60 detractors and 40 promoters. So your net promoter score is like -20. So for every industry there would be some standards. For aerospace it would be like 45. For say suppose automobile industry it would be like 35. There are some benchmarks. So when any company does a net promoter score analysis, it compares that benchmark with the outside market. So how is the composite score calculated? The total number of detractors divided by the number of surveys happened minus the total number of the recommended things divided by the number of surveys. Either way, yeah, you need to have the recommended first and the detractor next. This is nothing but your promoter score and this is nothing but your detractor score. I'll go through these things later part, but yeah, you got to know what is composite score and how to calculate it, right? But how do we do in terms of measures? So this is how we need to keep working on the measures. Say suppose I want to build a composite score for my NPS data. It's not calculated for each and every cell. It's calculated as an overall. It can be for the overall data, it can be for the survey type, it can be for the industry. That's why it keeps varying, right? So that's why what we do is we build a measure which is a dynamic. That's why measures are used for dynamic. Let me delete this. I need to build a measure under NPS data. Okay, go ahead and select NPS data. Click on the new measure, or you have an option in the top also to calculate new measure. Okay, now I want to build a composite score. uh, I'll make it little complicated here. Okay, just small things, but we are writing it in multiple brackets, that's all. So this is my composite score. I'm renaming the measure. Now what I told, I want okay, if I get into this it will be difficult for you. Let me first start with small functions, then I'll come to composite score. Now say suppose I want to have the average of the recommended services. Let's say I want to have the average of LTR. I'll start with 2-3 small functions, then we'll go to the composite score. Okay, say suppose this is your average LTR. Similarly, like how we had functions for other way, here also we have functions. What does it say? Returns the average arithmetic mean of all the numbers in a column. So just give the average, select the column name. What is that you want? You want the LTR. So earlier you were able to see the columns that was having values, but how do you look at the values here? There is something called data card. Just pick up that card. We'll go through this in detail. Just pick up that card under visualizations, and here you can see the one that you have created, average LTR. Just pull that and put it here, and you can see the score that is reflecting here, average LTR. I'm just showing you, but we'll build it. Okay, then now say suppose I want to know the distinct count for, say suppose, for a country. How do I do that? I need to do a measure under country code. Okay, I want to know how many countries are there. Similarly you can do for how many industries are also there. Okay, let me put it for, rename the this country. So you need to search for a function which says distinct count. Yeah, here it is. Count the number of distinct values in a column. I'll give the country. Now what I can do is I can copy paste this visualization also. So I copied it, I pasted it, and I'm just putting it here. I'm placing it here, and when you click on this particular visualization, what will happen? The fields that are associated with will get reflected here. So I will remove this, and I'll use my new one, that is your distinct country, under the country code table, and just drop it. You can see there are 249 distinct countries are available in the survey. This is a dummy data, keep that in mind. Okay, now say suppose I want to have the same thing created for number of industries that we have. See, why I am creating is that so that you can have background while creating the composite score. Now say suppose I want to create a measure under NPS data, new measure. Say suppose distinct industry. So go here and click on the distinct count, industry, search for it, do it. Why I am using distinct count and other things, I will tell you. Okay, so we have this one highlighted here. Let me remove this and put the distinct industry here. So there are 15 industries in your survey. Okay, now we did like how, I mean we know how to use the count, distinct count, something like, right? We did like 3-4. Now I want to build a composite score which is like a complex one. For now it's a simple one, but for now it's a complex one for us as it's very new to us. Okay, I want to build a composite score, but how do I do that? I need to first of all bring up the distinct count for the promoter first and distinct count for the detractor first. So we can do it in multiple measures. Apart from that, how we can do, say suppose this is my composite score. What is the formula? percentage of promoter minus percentage of detractor. How do we calculate the percentage? The distinct count of promoters that are present. First of all, we need to calculate the distinct count. So distinct count of what? We had created a column saying final result. Under that final result, again what we need to do? We need to look at what? Okay, let me put it like this for you. First of all, we want to know the distinct count for the final result. If you put it for the final result, what will happen? There will be only 3 distinct count, right? One is promoter, detractor, passive, but we want the count of that distinct value, which is the column that will help us to give the unique ID, right? Which is nothing but your single ID for each and every survey that has happened. So I want to count the distinct count for this, but I want to count this for the data which for the final result which is having the promoter score, right? So for that what we use is, this is a sub function under the calculate. So I'll say calculate distinct function, but for what? Okay, I guess I need to close it. Okay, calculate. First of all, I need to give an expression which says distinct count for what? For the unique ID. Okay, close this. Then I want to filter it for particular category. Unique ID, distinct, but for what category you want to filter it out? So that is for the final result, where it should be equal to detractor. First we will finish with the promoter. Okay, so this is what you will get the distinct count, but for calculating the percentage we need to have the complete total count of the records that we have. So you need to give the count of any column name, like we will give the unique ID itself. Okay, so what are we doing? We are calculating something. What is that we are calculating? We are calculating a percentage. But how are we calculating? First of all, we are calculating a distinct count for this particular category and dividing the total number of count, right? So that would be another thing. Are we clear here? Okay, this is the first section of the calculation. NPS is equal to this section. That's what we just did. Now we need to calculate this section as well, and inside in between you have something called minus operator. So you just put that minus operator here, and then what you can do is, for easily you can copy this and paste it. What is small change that you need to do? You need to just replace this promoter with the detractor. Okay, so let's hit enter and see whether it will work or not. Okay, so it worked, but what is the use of it, right? Let me explain you how it can be used. I'll put a composite score here first, then I'll explain you how or what is the use of measure. So this is your composite score. Okay, this is for the entire data. It's meaningless, right? Because it is having many industries, many survey types and everything. That's why there is something called measure, which will help us to have this calculation of composite score dynamic. Like how? Now say suppose I'll pick a table here, okay, and I want to understand the composite score across the industry. So first of all, in this table what I can do is, under the values I'll pull a field which is having an industry. Okay, now I want to know the composite score for that particular industry. So we just created composite score. Okay, now you can see the difference or the usage of it. Okay, it's showing in decimals. Let us make it in units. How do we do that? From points to this one and this one into 100. Okay, so once you do that, even these scores will get changed. Okay, so you can see this is the overall composite score and this is the composite score for each and every industry. So you can see 46.70 as the overall composite score for the data. The same thing you can see here, 46.70. But that is not at all useful for anyone. If you look at different industries with different composite score, then only the particular leader or the owner of that particular industry can take an appropriate action. See, aerospace, you can see it is 40, automobile it is 51, but you cannot decide independently. That particular leader will be aware what is the industry standard for that particular industry, the composite score. Say suppose if an aerospace is having a benchmark of 43 outside in the market and your company is having 40, you need to improve by 3-4 units. And say suppose automobile is at 45 as the benchmark in the market and yours is 51, so we are way ahead, right? So that is how you need to build a composite score. Got it? Are we clear so far? Okay, Ashutosh, Sujana. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll try to build a few visualizations, then I'll show you how to import images or how to build a dashboard of one page. Then we'll see, I'll share you those PBIX files and everything, then you can start exploring it. Okay, see, these are the basic charts that are available, but yeah, apart from that, there is something you can see here, right? The Python and R. So you can connect to Python and R and build more visualizations. Apart from that, if you are a subscriber or if you are purchased this product, you can get more visuals from the store, the online store. Okay, so we'll try to build few what visualizations. Say suppose I want to build, or we'll pick each and every chart. Okay, we'll try to cover every chart. Now this is a stacked chart or stacked bar chart. So you click on that particular visualization that gets that gets populated into your canvas. Okay, now and whenever you select, now yeah, you click on the canvas, there is nothing here. Okay, but yeah, when you select a canvas, for that particular canvas appropriate fields will get populated. What all you want to add under access, what all you want to add under legend, add under values, and let me show you one visualizations in very detail, rest I'll just show you on the top or the overview. Now say suppose under the access I want to have my survey type. I want to put a categorical chart type. Under NPS I have two things, let me pick up the survey type. Okay, this is my access, but I need the bars, right? So for that I need something like unique ID or any column that can give us the count. I'll explain you one chart in very detail. Okay, this chart I'll explain you in very detail. What are the features available, not the chart, what are the features available. So you can see here there are three survey types, type 1, type 2, type 3, and for each survey type these are the counts that we have, but we are not able to see the counts, we are just able to see the values under the access. How do we get the values here? Now go into the format pane, ensure this chart is highlighted, and you can see lot more options here. You can put a border, yeah, we'll put a border, go ahead. We can build a shadow, yeah, we built a shadow. So you can see the effects that are reflecting, right? And under that each and every category there are multiple options here. Okay, you can put a background image if you want. Okay, and say suppose if you don't want the title that is present, what you can do, you can either turn off the title or you can change the title. Let's say we want to understand count for each survey type. You can also play with that, like say suppose you want to have a font color of say dark blue, and you can align it, right? You can increase the size, you can change the font. See, I'm just showing you few, there is a lot to explore, right? Now also we need to have something like data labels, right? Then only it looks good. So you can see the data labels reflecting. Under the data labels also there is lot more options. For every category there is an option. There is something called display units. Say suppose if it is auto, it will pick up from the data and place it accordingly. Say suppose if you are saying none, it will be in terms of complete number 15,130. Say if you want to show it in thousand, that's what we had earlier. Millions, if you want to show, it will show in the 0.02 million. Based on your data input or data size, you do these selections. Okay, I'll just keep it as none. Okay, and apart from that, you can do the changes for the colors also. You can change for individual column, like say suppose type 1 I want to keep it as this color, type 2 I want to keep it as this color, type 3 I want to keep it as some other color. Okay, fine. Under y-axis, x-axis also there are like some things you can do. Now say suppose x-axis, okay, it is starting at where? It is starting at 0k. I can change that one also. So say suppose I want to start with 5k. What will happen? Your type 3 will get vanished because it's having only values 2105. So you can play with this chart, okay, and do lot more formatting options that are present on the format pane. So this is your input data or the data where you put. Now there is one more thing or one more option that is available, that is here, analytics, where you can add an average line, or say suppose now this will be useful if you are working on the trend chart. We'll try to put that in the trend chart. Let me stop it here now for this. Okay, so this is how you build a visualization, and then you can modify it or make it appealing, right? So this is your, and yeah, now say suppose I built a chart in this way and I want to change it to other chart. Now there is another easy way of doing it. Now I built a chart on stacked bar chart. I want to make it into column chart. How do I do that? I'll just click on this. So what happens? All the feature exists and it will change into different one. Okay, or you can pick a new one and make it a raw and do the same things that we just did. Values, say suppose I want by industry, and now I want to understand each industry by survey type. How do I do that? I pick up a survey type, I put it into legend. What will happen? Let me enlarge it. So you can see for each and every industry there are 3 bars or 3 columns that are available, but I want it in a stacked. So how I can do? I can just change the chart. So what will happen? It will get changed into stacked chart. Clear? Now I built a chart here. I want to have the same chart for my storyline. I can create a new page here below, come here and paste it here. So the same chart will come up here. Now I can do the changes. Say suppose I want to make it as an funnel chart. So for funnel chart there won't be any legends, but it will be like, say suppose I had my industry first and next on survey type. I can put multiple things here. Next, say suppose source type also I'll put it. What will happen? I'll just show you. There is something called a drill down. Did someone join? Okay, not a problem. So what will happen? you can put multiple columns or multiple features, you put into the chart. See, one good thing what you can see here is, say suppose this is your chart and you checked on the industry wise what is the total number of surveys happened. Now I want to understand this survey type. There is something called go to next level in hierarchy. Here you can see expand all down one level in the hierarchy, go to next level in the hierarchy. So what will happen if you click on that? In the same chart you can explore into deeper level. Where will it be useful? Say suppose you have built a chart for year wise. Under that year wise you can put a column of month, you can put a column of week number, hour, so you can drill down on a single chart. Okay, so let's pick up a new chart. Say suppose we'll build a line chart and we'll do all these things there, and we'll put the average value also. Now say suppose this is my year. Okay, there is one more thing. Let me open the response date, and you can see the response date is here, and there would be a hierarchy that is been created by the Power BI itself, the year, quarter, month, day. Apart from that you can go ahead and create the hour, week number, weekday, etc. Now let's build all these things. Let's pick up year, let's pick up a quarter, let's pick up the month. Okay, I want to know what is the surveys that are happened in each and every time period. So I've built this. What will happen? First of all, it will show me in the year. Let me go ahead and add the trend lines here. So you can see here, this is what I was saying. Now say suppose I want to add an average line. I'll just go ahead and click on the add. It will add an average line, and I can even edit that. What is the use of it? Say suppose if you are doing this graph for the sales, you want to understand the average sales that are happening in a year, quarter, month, right? So that is where it will helpful. Let me add the data labels also, so that will be easy. Okay, now you have this at year. I can drill down to next level. This is for quarter trend. I can drill down to the next level. This is for the monthly trend, right? If you had the hour also, you can put the hour also. Let's put the hour also into the same chart. Let's drill down. You can see for which hour more number of surveys happened. It is useful when you are doing the sales analysis, which hour more number of customers are coming. Say suppose if you had a restaurant, which hour you have more number of population, which hour you need to have the stock ready or the food ready. Those kind of places it will be helpful, right? Now the same chart I can just move it into what, like say suppose build a chart not with all these things. Okay, let us use the composite score now. Now for each industry, okay, for each industry these are the surveys that has happened. Okay, but yeah, now I want to understand the composite score also for this. How do I do that? I picked up a what is called a line and stack column chart. It's a combined chart, so I'll pick that, I'll put it into line values. So what will happen? You'll be having a secondary axis for the composite score. This is your axis, primary axis for the count of surveys happened. This is your secondary axis for the composite score, and you can look at the composite score for each and every industry, as well as see, now say suppose we had a general what to say now. Okay, let me put it up here. Okay, okay, see, the composite score is like, how do I tell you, for each industry this is how it is for these many count of surveys that has happened. That is what I want to put it across. Okay, I mean, see, you built a measure which is a composite score. We built a table and I showed you, but yeah, it is getting dynamically calculated for each and every industry. That is what the feature of this measure. Whereas a column, the new columns or the calculated columns cannot be used in that way, right? that is for each and every cell that has been there in the table. Okay, let me pick few more charts so that it will be easy for you. See, you need to keep exploring it, that is how it works. And I'll be sharing you two workbook files, two Power BI files which I told you, but it will be having all the charts that we have, as much as I have covered here and more than that also. So what we'll do, we'll build some geography chart also, because anyhow we had the the country names. Let's say we'll pick up the country, and now you see the difference what the things that we do here. I can pick a country name from the country code table also, right? Say suppose I picked from here, but it is repeating only once, right, in the country code. But what I'll do is I can pick a column from unique ID. Just give me a minute. Okay, now you can see the country has been picked up. So wherever you have the country, is just giving the same size of circles, right? That is what it's happening. But I don't want in that way. I want to know which country has most number of surveys. So what I can do is I can pick up a unique count here and put it into the size. So what happens, you are using two columns from two different tables, but you are able to integrate. That is because of your data modeling. And you can see which country is having more number of surveys. You can see here this country, that is Japan, has having 2529 surveys done, and the least you can see here is the small one, say suppose this one, which is a Paraguay, which is just one unique survey or one survey that has happened. So this is how we can build the geospatial charts. Under that there are many again. You can see here there is a field one, there is an ArcGIS, right? You need to keep exploring that. Apart from that, say suppose there is a decomposition tree, which is like one of the good chart I feel. How to use it? Let me tell you. Decomposition is to understand what is affecting the composite score. Say suppose I have my composite score, I want to analyze it. I'll just put it under analyze now. What will happen? Okay, you have this to analyze, but how do you want to analyze? You want to analyze by industry, or you want to analyze it by survey type or source type? Let's say I want to understand by source type. Is really source affecting the composite score? Let's see. Okay, you can just have something plus sign here. You can see that. Just click on that and hit on the high value, low value, or whatever it is you want to understand through. Now what happens is this composite score is being split across the categories of source type. The mail is having a composite score of 63, online 45, telephonic 45. So what we can infer, see, we are not getting into deeper parts of the insights or understanding. I am just explaining you. You can see the mail surveys, whatever the surveys that has happened on through the mail, it's having a good score. Is it true? Let's see. Let's pick up an industry now. Put the industry here before source type so that we can know is it really happening across the industries. Okay, yeah, composite score, which is the highest one, education is having the highest one. Now I want to understand the source type is really a changing factor for the composite score. Let's look at for 1 or 2 3 industries, then see. Yeah, if you see, even for education, the mail is contributing the highest composite score. Let's pick up the energy sector. Okay, no, here if you see, the online is contributing more. Let's pick up some few more. Automobile, yeah, mail is contributing. Communication, mail is contributing. So you are able to understand few things, that a mail surveys are having more or good feedback. I'm just not giving a direct conclusion, but yeah, through these basic things. Again, you need to dig deeper before you go to the stakeholders saying that one, right? In statistically, you should tell mail, government, mail, So that is what we can understand through these decomposition trees. Decomposition trees is very much helpful in this. Okay, apart from that, let me explain you something. Okay, let me, okay, I told you about this one, right? The card is nothing but, say if you want to get the count of each and every column, that is where you use the card, which we have already used, but let me put it again. Say suppose I want to know how many records are present. I'll pick up this unique code, put it into fields, so it will give me the count. Okay, it's not giving count. Why? Because it's taking the first unique ID. Yeah, let me explain the features present here also for each and every field. When you hit on this drop down, there would be many things. Count distinct. We want count distinct, and that will give you the number of columns that are present in the things. Again, you can go into format pane and do the changes or whatever it is, right? There is an NLP feature available inside the Power BI, which will give you the way of asking questions. Like say suppose the same thing what you did on composite score, or you can try to ask that, like what is the, yeah, you can see, right, it shows the suggestions also. What is the distinct country by source type, top source types by distinct countries, top industries by distinct countries. Apart from that, you can also see, you can see sort NPS data by hour, or say suppose composite score, you can type it here. My system is slow, so it will take a time, but yeah, you can type it here and ask few more, like say suppose composite score I want to know by, say suppose by industry I want to know. See, you can see here it gives us so many options, by source type, project, by LTR, overall satisfaction, right? Let me pick up an industry wise. What will happen? It generates a chart. You can go ahead and format the chart. You can remove the search box. You can do all those editing things under this format options. Okay, I'll try to see to cover few more. Okay, now say suppose this is your gauge. Gauge is like now we had LTR, right? We had LTR, and you put a gauge. Gauge is nothing but to measure, right? Like what is the minimum value, what is the maximum value, what is your average value, right? I mean, where do you stand under that measurement scale, right? Say suppose now, okay, I'll pick my LTR score, and I'll put it, this is into average, sorry. Okay, let me first pick up the average LTR, that is my value, this is where I stand. Okay, but yeah, you can see here these are the minimum and maximum that are coming, but yeah, that is not the thing, right? The maximum and minimum scale are 0 to 10, right? So let me pick up the LTR, this is the LTR1. Okay, put it under minimum value. As I said, you go ahead here and you have minimum options. You have minimum, again you can use the same field, put it into maximum, and you can go ahead and put it into maximum. So you can see now the LTR score is 0 to 10, but my accomplishment is still 8.35 and an average. You can also put a target value. Let's say suppose I'll create a new measure saying target is 9. How do I create that? Just go ahead and hit on new measure and just give a number saying 9, hit enter. That will have a value called 9. Now you can pick up that and put into the same visualizations. Okay, search for the target, put it into target value. What is happening? It's giving a benchmark here. So you can build a dashboard for each and every industry like this, right? You can create a benchmark for each and every industry and showcase it to the particular industry leaders, saying okay, this is where we stand, this is the target, this is the minimum and maximum that you can achieve. Clear? Now, how do we build a dashboard? First of all, what is a dashboard? why do we build a dashboard? Okay, so see, these are the visualizations. See, there are lot many. There is no limit to that. You need to keep exploring it. I can just show you few things here so that you will be able to use it. Now let us see how the composite score. Okay, one last thing I'll just show you. I'll build something called heat map. Why I'm covering all this visualization is because I've covered that in your dashboard file that I'm sharing with you. Okay, now say suppose I have this heat map. Heat map is nothing but your rows versus column to find the hotspots. Now say suppose I want to understand industry by month. Okay, this is my industry and this is my month. Okay, now I want to understand the composite score between these months and industry. I mean, is the composite score affecting at any particular month? See, these are dummy data, so ignore the essence but understand the concept. So this is the general table, right? And you can see the negatives also are present. For entertainment, if you see in the September, they got a composite score of -25. Fine. Now I had this, but yeah, you need to make it an heat map. How do we do that? Go to the format pane and yeah, go to conditional formatting. Okay, hit on background color. What will happen? You will get something called advanced control. Apart from that, you can see here there is a color scale that is happening, right? You can go ahead and make it as a complete heat map by hitting on the advanced controls. How do we do that? Now say suppose this is your way of building the conditional formatting, how we do in our Excels, right? If the minimum value is present, make it as, say suppose, see here what is happening, minimum is red, right? So let's make it as red, and maximum you get, that is the green thing. Okay, that is the green thing. Now say suppose I want to have 3 colors, like say suppose in the middle one, yeah, it should have something like amber, which says your scores into 3 categories. Now you can see here all these reds are the least that you have achieved for that particular industry. Okay, and also I forgot to, yeah, I'll show you in the dashboard, that's not a problem. Okay, so this is how you build a heat maps. We build dashboards, right? Why do we build dashboards? As I said, why do we use the BI? It's the same thing. So that you can compare the targets with the achievements that you have done, those kind of things. Now say suppose you had multiple KPIs, like now we had this composite score as one KPI, so there would be multiple KPIs. KPI is nothing but key performance indicators for every industries. So the stakeholder will be observing the KPIs regularly, and there are many dashboards that are built for the sake of visualizing the KPIs or understanding the analysis and etc. To quote few, like say suppose if there is a web analytics dashboard, right? Say suppose you have a web page created, like say suppose Amazon website. You go to the Amazon website, like that throughout the world many people go to the Amazon website, and there is a team inside the company sitting and understanding how the website is being used. That is nothing but your web analytics dashboard. But what all you derive out of these dashboards? How many people are visiting your website? How many pages are they looking at? How long they are staying? How many people are converting into business, or simply they are coming and looking at the pages? So this is what you need to understand, the web traffic. So what are the benefits that you can derive? You can derive like say suppose you can build a dashboard which is customizable, like today you want to look at this thing, tomorrow you want to look at something, so you can do the real-time monitoring, and entire enterprise can be put into a single page, like say suppose first line manager, second line manager, his leaders, everyone can look at the single page which gives their own actionable insights. It builds to help a story, a quick identification of any red alerts that are happening. Say if you are monitoring an server, or say suppose if you are monitoring the railway toll gates, if the train is passing but the toll is been opened, that's a red alert, right? So you take an appropriate action immediately. So it's a real-time connected data. I've given you few details or background of that also in the document that I'll be sharing, okay, so that you will have fair understanding of what is dashboard. But what is built is what here. I want everyone to use the data and build something similar to this and submit it back to me. Okay, you need to build the formulas, measures and everything. Okay, you need to build the columns, you need to build a complete new file. You import the file and build this. I'll just show you samples of it. I'll share you this one also, but yeah, why do we do those things is what to build like this. See, first of all, we'll understand, say if you're presenting it to your stakeholder, he doesn't know what is NPS. Okay, very new guy, a new guy into the company, and you're explaining him. So you first of all put a page saying what is this NPS. Okay, there is no failure, only feedback, as it is the key to improvement, right? So you create an importance of the feedback. You write what is feedback, what are the varieties that it is considering, how do you calculate them, those kind of things. Then you'll explain to the industry wise, like what is happening for each and every year, how it's happening, what is the trend of composite scores, and you can put a table like this. See, I've showed you few format pins, right? When you build a table, this is how it looks. There are multiple options available again here. And you can also create something like text boxes. Let me go to my page and I'll show you few things. Now say suppose I want to insert few things, like say suppose I want to have text box. I can create a text box here and write here, and you can format it as well. You can put up something, you can change the font, right? You can do all these things, as well as you will have something called buttons, left arrow button. Now say suppose this is my left arrow, okay, and I've put the button here. What all I can do is I can build an action to this. So you can see here, when I select that particular visual, you'll have something called action. Just turn it on. What action it should perform? It should go to say suppose page navigation. I mean, I want when I hit this visualization, it should go to page 1. So I'll just select that particular page here, come here. Now if I click on this, it won't happen, right? It should give control click. So if you see here now, if I hover it, control click, what will happen? It will take me to the page 1. So you can build a story with this. Similarly, I have created few industry wise, but I have put hyperlink here. What does it do? It will take you to the particular industry. What does that industry does? What is the industry is all about, right? So you can put then external link also. So I have put for every button I have created here. Just do the control click, it will take you to the particular thing. Final, good. Now say suppose I want to understand about the entertainment industry. I'll just go and do the control click. It will bring me to this page, so that you can understand first what is the industry is about, what is the industry standard composite score, and etc. Right? And also one more good thing I want to show you here is, let me show it in summary page or somewhere. Okay, so this is the heat map which I showed you. This is another variant. I am just putting a double thing here. Instead of doing the conditional formatting, I have just placed it as a table itself. Now say suppose I want to see, this is a summary page. This is the overall 46.70 net promoter scores that we did, and you can put filters which is available in your visualizations here. Let me show you. Yeah, here your filters. I'm giving you this dashboard so that you'll explore it. Okay. Now one important feature of the dashboard of these BI tools that are coming up, right? The Power BI, Tableau, any business intelligences that we discussed in the start. What is it? Useful part is an interactive dashboard. Say now the industries are headed by the industry leader, but a CEO wants to look at all the industries, right? So that he can engage with that particular industry leader and do some appropriate actions. Now you gave this dashboard and he want to understand, say suppose about the communication industry. So you just go and click the communication industry, that will get highlighted, and the other charts will get reflected accordingly. So the composite score for industry is changed to 57. Is that the same thing that we got in the table that we created for communication? Where is my communication? Yeah, 57.7. Now you understand what is the use of these things that are happening. 57.7. Now I want to understand only about a particular year. I can do that filtering as well. Say suppose I want to understand only about 2018. So even the trend charts will also get reflected. So this is one of the feature that's called interactive dashboards that you can do with it. And you can also do multiple selections. Say suppose and I want to select multiple industries. I can go ahead and do that. I'll just go and click on communication, and I'll just select the computer services as well. So you can do by control click. That will give you multiple understanding. So I've built geography wise. This is something called tree map, and you can see the other factors we had, right? Apart from net promoter score, we had overall score, likely to recommend service, likely to choose service, communication, innovation. So we can build the cards here so that they can look at. Now I want to understand about North America alone, right? Or US in specific. I can just go ahead and click there, and you can look like which industry is contributing for these the surveys, and you can look at the average net promoter score, and then what is the trend of it. You can also source it, filter it by source type and everything. Yeah, Ashutosh. Using common, what is that common measure? Acha, new measure okay, yeah, no, see, even if it is different also, that not I mean not a problem. You see, now say suppose without composite score, let's see. Now say suppose this is nothing involving composite scores, right? Say suppose I want to understand about the type 1 alone for each industries. I'll just go ahead and click here, and you can see all these industries are getting reflected accordingly. That is not related because of the measures. Yes, yes, that's correct. Now say suppose I just want to look at promoter alone, and I don't want to look at this net promoter score, which is a composite score. I want to look at the trend. That is not related to that, so that's fine. This is just the raw data that we had. This is a new column, but not the measure that we did here. Okay, so I have created few pages. Just explore it. Okay, and what I want you to do is build a similar kind of dashboard with the data and send it back for me. That is what I am expecting. Okay, and yeah, that's all I had.